All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the No Bull Podcast, or welcome back to the No Bull Podcast. I am your host, Brianna Bull, and I am bringing you everything basketball. Let's see. A new day. Still same old settings acting up, but it's all good. Welcome to the chat. Stay fly. Let's go. Y'all hit that like button. Subscribe, like, all of the above. Welcome to Man Down Sports. What's up, Mel? I'm excited for today. We have a full docket. Wait, is it this side? Yeah. A full docket here. I'm very excited for the upgrades that have been made. Shout out to Mel for all your support, love, and care. And I have a special announcement, but I didn't even verify with you if it was okay to say it out loud yet. I don't know. Just give me that green light, and I will, at the end of this stream, talk about my special announcement. But I am so excited to talk basketball today. Yesterday was a whirlwind of emotions for the basketball community. I also yesterday was a guest on the Man Down Sports podcast for their Friday night evening panel. It was my first panel ever. But I was super excited to be there. Very much grateful for the opportunity to speak with people who really know their stuff. Okay? It was a lot of fun. A lot of people were in the chat talking, running their mouth. And I loved every moment of it. And so it was a great community, a great space. Thank you to everyone who came from Man Down Sports and subscribed to my channel and started showing me love in the comment section already, watching my videos, hitting the like button. It's just truly, I'm grateful for the love and support I've received already. So if you are coming from Man Down Sports and you're here right now, hello. If you are my day ones, A1s, Ace Band Coons, what's up? What's goody? Okay, let's get into it. Without further ado, we're going to kick off with this indie injury crisis. Dun, dun, dun. I said it yesterday. I was like, if anybody gets hurt in this game for them, I'm concerned. And when I said that, I obviously wasn't trying to wish no injuries on anybody. And I didn't even realize how bad it was for both young ladies who had went down. But unfortunately, Sydney Collison, their backup point, and Ariel McDonald, their breakout point guard this season since Caitlin Clark went down, have both suffered season-ending injuries. Moment of silence. It's tough. They both suffered lower leg injury. So, in some type of capacity. I think Sydney was her leg and Aria was her foot. So, my diehard Eat Fever fans, if you haven't made it in here yet, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Y'all are cooked. Y'all are cooked, bro. I don't really know what the hell y'all gonna do, man. Cause you already did not have any depth. So the fact that two of your guards went down, you have three guards out right now. There's very little room for mistakes for this Indiana Fever team. Now they're probably going to bring Lexi Hall back off the bench and start her and maybe go big, slide Kelsey Mitchell and maybe Sophie Cunningham to that one position. I'm a little nervous about that because Sophie Cunningham has a track record of turnovers, and Kelsey Mitchell, I just don't like her as a one. That's all. She's better off the ball. She's better as their two, their shooter, their ace Bancoon in the hole, knock it down, ice in her veins. That's what she's known for. And I'm concerned with this Indiana offense that Stephanie White just does not seem to like to make adjustments offensively despite their star not being there. It really frustrates me to see this team be so one-dimensional in their scoring. Yes, I said it. I don't even know if I'm using the right term, but that's how it feels for this Indiana team. They're one-dimensional scorers, scoring offense, not score like each person obviously has their specialty. They bring different parts to the game, but they just don't seem to be making adjustments offensively. But this is gonna force them to make adjustments, and I'm very eager to see what type of adjustments Stephanie White will make for her team. Next thing I wanted to point out is their standings in the East. They right now they're still sitting third in the East, but overall they're sitting fifth, I believe, fourth or fifth. Let's take a look, skis. I think, and I know their record is 17-14. I think they're on a 3-game losing streak. I just had the standings pulled up. I don't know why it's not there anymore. Welcome to the chat, Motown Chris. What's goody? Glad to see you. Yeah, you see this, man? Indy's down bad. Down bad. So we have, yep, they sit fifth overall right now at 17 with a record of 17-14. And the Aces, they're actually tied with the Las Vegas Aces after their win last night over Seattle Storm, and we will get to that. But they're on a 2-game losing streak, while the Las Vegas Aces are on a 3-game winning streak. And then the Seattle Storm sits at 7 at 16-15. I'm really concerned for this Indiana Fever team. Could this be it for their playoff run? I don't know. The question I asked to you all, should Caitlin come back early to save this Indiana Fever team? And also, I don't even know what their timeline looks like for Caitlin right now. But it didn't really, I wasn't getting any impressions that she was coming back anytime soon. I really feel like if I'm the Indiana Fever, I'm trying to rush Caitlin back a little bit. Asked me a week ago, I was like, oh yeah, be more patient. And I actually said this, be more patient, Caitlin. Just save her until like towards the end, right when you're about to hit playoffs. Because I was still confident in this Indiana Fever team to sustain their position in for playoffs in the top 8. But now, I'm very concerned for them. There's still a month left in the regular season. A lot of games left. I mean, I would bring Caitlin back early. I bring her back as early as I possibly could. I go to the trainers and I say, what's the earliest we can bring her back without furthering this injury? If they want to have any chance to make it to the playoffs or have this like winning year, like is it curtains for them at this point? Or do we have some Indiana Fever fans out there still with an enormous amount of hope? If you got hope, that's what's up. You know, ain't nobody trying to knock that. We love a human who has hope. But let's be realistic. I haven't eaten yet. Let's be realistic. Random dude, welcome to the chat. Welcome back. You say 2-game loser streak, but they'll probably lose to the Sky today. They do play the Chicago Sky, and we will talk about that later and what that's going to look like for both of these teams that are without their stars, without key players, and bringing their stars back early. That'll be a little conversation. Random dude also said Caitlin should come back when she's healthy. King Tyler said, do not bring CC back early. Yeah, well, so just wrap up this season, chalk it up as an L, start making off-season moves. I think Indiana Fever got like $95,000 cap space. I'm just recalling out of my memory. Just chalk it up. Should they still have this playoff mentality? Now, everybody should have this I'm going to win mentality. But obviously for some teams, playoffs are just impossible at this point. But is there still hope for this Indiana Fever team? And if so, will it take Caitlin Clark coming back to solidify this playoff spot? And can they do it without her? I'm really curious to see. I don't know if them playing against the Chicago Sky team tonight is going to be a true testament to their ability to sustain a playoff run, unfortunately. But we are gonna get to see them in action, and this could be like a game maybe to prepare them. But if they lose to the Chicago Sky team after all these two very unfortunate injuries, and without their star, Caitlin Clark, I already foreshadow like what the media is going to say. So, I say bring Caitlin back as early as they possibly can. Let's get her back, and we'll see. Welcome, Seagazer. Welcome back. Glad to see you. Glad to have you. He said, no need for CC to come back early. Just signed 2 true point guards. Oh, the Odyssey Sam and Sundell. Oh, so you're talking about just bringing people on. They do need more people, though. And I anticipate them definitely building on their roster, especially with these season-ender injuries. They have no choice. They literally have no choice at this point. But I don't know. For me personally, I would wait for Caitlin to get healthy, and then I would sign front court players. Personally. I would not bring guards to the team. I'd probably do 1 guard, 1 front court, or 2 front court, and a front court that can possibly run some guard action. That's what I would do. But yeah. Sorry to the... There's a crisis in Indiana right now. And I hope they I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of speechless for real. Okay. So, let's move on because we got a full thing, and I got to go pick up my iPhone 16 soon. I'm really great. Y'all going to see my camera's going to be back. Bree's gonna be back. I can't wait. So let's get through this. Let's keep going. Next on the docket is Cheryl Reeve. The Minnesota head coach Cheryl Reeve was asked about the current sex toy scandal, crisis, drama. Y'all know me, right? I am everything basketball. Very rarely do I want to do off-court commentary, things that aren't really, like, it's basketball related, but not actually like basketball. But I thought I would play this because we're talking about the current state of the WNBA and the future of the WNBA, and I think that has some impact on these ladies and just the game overall. And I want to play something for you. She was asked in an interview. I'm going to just play the audio. And I want to hear your thoughts. And then I'm also obviously going to give my own. Hopefully you can hear it. It's a 42-second clip. So if you can't hear it, I'll just replay it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So here we go. And again, she was asked about the green dildos that were thrown on the court. Shaking my head. I don't mean to be inappropriate. I'm sorry. But this is everywhere in the news right now. It's crazy. Okay. And this was a couple days. This was 2 days ago.
Throwing things onto the court. Obviously, you guys know what the object is. And I just want to comment on, this has been going on for centuries. The sexualization of women. This is the latest version of that. And it's not funny. And it should not be the butt of jokes on any radio shows or in print or in any comments. The sexualization of women is what's used to hold women down. And this is no different. This is just its latest form. And we should write about it in that way. And these people that are doing this should be held accountable. And we're not the butt of the joke. They're the problem.
All right. So Cheryl Reeves had a lot to say in regards to the recent sexual escapades in the WNBA, and this is me making a joke about it. I'm sorry, Cheryl. She was coming from this old head type of thought. She took it to the sexualization of women that's been happening over hundreds of years. And she wants the media to talk about that and not make it a joke, not make it a meme, not make it into like whatever it is that the media has been doing. And I listened to that. I kind of giggled a little bit just because here we go. Another attempt for someone, and it's coming from a woman. Okay, let me back up. I am not a feminist by any means. I am not one of those advocates in the capacity like with women and over sexualizing your bodies and looking at it as this is just me loving my body. No, I'm not that type of, I don't think like that. However, when I hear comments from Cheryl talking about trying to hold the media accountable or hold others accountable to their contributions to this current scandal or crisis that the WNBA is experiencing, I can hear her frustrations towards, okay, what this type of behavior, whatever the intentions are, it's either for jokes or it's a political statement or they're just motivated by whatever it is they're motivated by. They chose to do sex toys and it sexualizes women and it's for the WNBA. Like, I don't think anybody would ever think to do this in the NBA. I don't really know or recall any type of crazy stories of someone throwing people threw their thongs or bra on the court. But wouldn't that be sexualizing the men too? You see what I'm saying? Cheryl, I feel like, brought it up about it being sexualized in that type of capacity. Like, why are we putting focus on the WNBA in that way? And I see where she's going with it. And she's like, for hundreds of years we've been sexualized. But Cheryl, do you see these women nowadays? They glorify it. So I can get you advocating and holding other people accountable, but the women nowadays you see what they be pulling up to for the red carpet, for the pregame. Some of these women in these WNBA outfits are already sexualizing themselves. So it's just like, I can't get on a mic and say that about get on a mic and say people need to stop sexualizing women. It's like, it's unfortunately a part of our culture now. And it seems like it's no going back. As much as I wish things were different, this is not me saying I like how things are. But people, when I talk with guys about watching the WNBA, most of them say to me, I'm not gonna lie, I just want to watch because Juju Watkins is playing. She's bad. She's a baddie. I'm watching because Angel Reese is a baddie. I'm watching because she's beautiful. They're like, other than that, I really don't want to watch this. So I think the WNBA takes certain routes. I'm not going to lie. They take certain routes to push out and try to bring the audience. And part of that is going to be sexualizing these women in some type of capacity. Like, I already know it. And they do it in subtle ways. So I'm not just saying it like, oh, this doesn't actually happen. But like that, unfortunately, that's just how it is. And some of these women players, they go along with it. They take sexy, seductive pictures. All this other stuff. I'm telling you. So her comment, like, although I hear her intention behind it, I totally hear what you're saying, Cheryl. But, nah, shorty. Nah. I think, nah. Let me see the comments are saying. Random dude said Reeves is out of touch. It was just kids having fun. Stupid but harmless. That's not like, it's like, I don't think the WNBA is a space where we can advocate for desexualizing women. It just wasn't the right place or time or way to like kind of look at, like, yeah, it was inappropriate regardless. I don't think it's a thing where we're looking at like, oh, it's a women's league, so now they're gonna throw dildos. Like, it has nothing to do with that. Like, it has nothing to do with that. But welcome to the chat, simply ball dropping. I'm excited. I saw your message. I will be messaging you back. But I'm excited to work with you in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much what I had to say about Cheryl Reeve's comment about the sexualization of women and then trying to force it into the WNBA space. Like, it just, I hear what you're saying, but on to the next thing. Next. Okay. Let us move on. Okay. So this is called the W Report segment, where we just recap the games that happened last night. And obviously the main topic of this discussion will be the Las Vegas Aces and their win over the Seattle Storm. But we will also talk about the Dallas Wings. We'll start off with that. Dallas Wings versus lost to the New York Liberty. And I think they lost by like 11. And then we'll talk about that Lynx versus Mystics game. And I said yesterday that I feel like the Mystics, that the Lynx, they struggled last time without Nafisa. They might struggle again, and that's exactly what happened. But they still ended up coming out on top versus that Mystics team, winning 80-76. And we will for sure break down each quarter for that game. But again, the highlight of this segment is the Las Vegas Aces versus the Seattle Storm. So let's start with the Liberty versus Wings game. I'm not gonna go too in depth, only because, bro, they literally played each other 3 times this month and end of last month and twice this month. I'm kind of over this matchup. So we're gonna quickly go over that. I'm only gonna run through some stats. I watched a little bit of it, but I was more I had to watch all these back because last night I was busy, but I did not really watch. I had this playing in the background. But some notable stat lines from this New York Liberty and Dallas Wings team. And again, New York Liberty is without B. Stewie. Breanna Stewart's hurt. And they're without Kennedy Burke. Kennedy Burke has a lower calf strain. Is not set to return for like 4 weeks from now, possibly. So maybe beginning of playoffs. And then B. Stewie, her estimated return date was actually August 19th. And she has a current bone bruise on her knee. And so, but she's set to come back earlier than Kennedy. Will they bring back this crucial key component for the New York Liberty team, or have they built a comfortable lead in the East to secure their playoff spot and playoff run where they don't really have to worry about that? I do want to note that the New York Liberty has managed to break that 20-game cusp that the Minnesota Lynx had held over everybody's head for so long, so many weeks, with 25 wins on the season, and the New York Liberty finally joined them in the 20s, winning their 20th game last night. They are 20-10. While the Dallas Wings sit at the bottom of the West, 8-23. Now, pretty even scoring amongst our starters last night with the New York Liberty. We had, obviously, Sabrina Ionescu led scoring with 16 points. She was 1 for 6 from the 3, but she always manages to get it done from the free throw, shooting 5 for 5, 100%, and she was 5 for 16 from the field goal overall. She grabbed a lot of boards. She led them in rebounding last night with 6 no, she didn't. She was 2 rebounds behind Emma Messiman. I'm sorry. But her and Jonquel both pulled down 6 rebounds. Sabrina had 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and only 1 turnover. That is high-level superstar play. She said, if Stewie not here, I'm a still show up and hold it down for my team. Behind her with points, three players yesterday tied for 14 points. That was Emma, Jonquel, and Leonie. But a big standout last night for me personally was Emma Messiman. Her plus and minus, she was plus 25. Almost had a double-double. Low-key almost had a triple-double. But she had 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and 2 turnovers. So whoever grabbed her for fantasy basketball, y'all are winning right now. She came through last night. I do want to also point out, and she shot 60% from the field. She was 6 for 10. Like Shorty was doing really well. Maureen Johannes off the bench, she was 3 for 8 from the field goal with 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. I'm just looking at this as a team. They shot 46.3% from the field goal and 38% from the 3. Those are not like it was a low scoring game for both sides, or average scoring game, I should say. But they managed to put up 88 points. I love how even scoring this is. Is this playoff contender numbers? Let's throw Stewie back in there. But I think they had a solid performance overall as a team, and it was pretty even. Everybody who was healthy played last night. And notably, Rebecca Gardner had 5 minutes of play, and I'm kind of curious. Let me look at the injury report. Like I said, I didn't watch too much of this game today, to be honest. And then once I look at this injury report real quick to see why Rebecca didn't play that much, it's possible she got hurt. If not, then they were just going in a different direction. Nope. Well, all right. So, but while I am looking at this injury report, it looks like Stewie's estimated return date was pushed to August 28th. So they pushed it out 10 days, but she is expected to return by the end of August. Like, it's definitely set that she's returning to the end of August. And that kind of gives us some hope for real, because for them to have the 19th date as like a maybe and then push it out 10 days, to me that sounds like, okay, this is definitely when she's probably going to come back. Like, they reevaluated her and they're like, yep, you're going to come back. So, real quick, Dallas Wings. Did Paige end up playing? Because I think there was talks that she was on the injury report and she was hurt. So, let us take a look at that. And then while that's loading, I'm going to look at the chat. I love how everyone is just having a conversation with themselves, like each other. This is what this space is for. It brings me a lot of joy. I love to see it. Okay. For our Dallas Wings. Ooh, they shot terrible from the 3-point line yesterday. They were as a total team. They shot 14% from the 3 for 21 altogether. Yikes. Looks like everybody on their team, aside from JJ Quinierly, took a 3, but maybe JJ was in her feelings. Despite Paige not playing last night, they decided to not start JJ Quinierly, took her out of the starting lineup, and they went big going against this New York Liberty team. Like I said, they should have did that the last game, like I said, but it looks like they decided to do it this game. Took them a whole game to make that adjustment. They need me on their coaching staff. But they went big with Lee LaRue, Louisa Gosselauder, like last time, Arike, Isaiah James, and then Haley Jones. Sorry, Isaiah. I think I'm butchering your name. But despite Isaiah James starting, she only played 7 minutes, while Grace Berger played 30 minutes off the bench. Maddie Seeger's 25, and then Maisha came back from injury with 20 minutes. Notably, of course, Arike took the most shots as per usual. I'm not really a Arike fan, but Arike was 6 for 16 from the field goal, 0 for 4 from the 3. She had 17 points, so she took 16 shots to make 17 points. Anyway, she did manage to pull down 6 rebounds, and she had 3 assists. But Grace Berger actually led in assists. She had 6 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. It's pretty solid performance from Grace Berger, despite her 30% shooting from the field goal with 3 for 10. It looks like the Dallas Wings just had a terrible shooting night. It looked like they were probably just jacking up shots. What I saw was it was their just struggle with size, and they didn't look without Paige. They just looked like, and I was very pissed to see JJ not start. So the whole first quarter, I'm just sitting there like, yeah, no, but one thing I do like about Arike is her ability to finish with contact in the lane. Like, she's a stocky girl. It can get hard to stop her once she goes downhill. So I will shout her out for that. And then Lee Rue, like I said, is like my sleeper favorite big. But she did not do well last night. And I don't know if it's because they haven't had a consistency on her side, has not been on her side as far as playing time and the strategy they use with her. They start her or bring her off the bench. It looks like she needs to get comfortable and find a pocket in order for her to bring that value that they're seeking in the front court. But Louisa has held it down for them a little bit. I want to see her better with scoring around the rim. And I'm just hoping that they continue to build up their front court. You know, like they have a huge guard focus right now, but let's build up their front court. Someone said Lee Rue doesn't jump, she reaches for rebounds. But she goes for them though. You feel what I'm saying? She goes for them, and I love that about her. Like, I love that she goes for it. She hustles. She not gonna ever let up. Now, can she get pushed around? Absolutely. Am I concerned for her against other bigs in the league? 100%. So maybe she just needs to get a little more cultured with America a little bit. Like, no shade to her, but maybe someone got to bring that dog out of her. You know, where they not going to big body push her around. Because if this Dallas Wing team played against, like, the Aces, for example, it's just going to do her so dirty. I don't even want to think about that. Okay, so. Okay, perfect. Mel just put in the chat, green light. But awesome. Okay. So that's pretty much all I'm gonna say for this New York Liberty team. I think in Dallas Wing game, I think I gave it a little too much spotlight than I really wanted to. Let's hop into this lovely Lynx versus Mystics game. It was really fun to watch because it was like trading basket. You starting to feel the pressure of the playoffs. And while the Washington Mystics are sitting 10th right now, they're 13-17. It doesn't mean they couldn't possibly work their way back up to that 8th position, despite the Los Angeles Sparks and Golden State Valkyries standing in their way. Like, it's still a possibility for them. It's not like they're the Chicago Sky, who's 8-22, the Dallas Wings 8-23, or the Connecticut Sun 5-24. No, they have double-digit wins, and they're only one win behind the two teams that are next up. So this loss really did hurt them, but there's still low-key hope, right? So last night we have wait, hold on. Bear with me. Pull up my notes. as I've always said, and I'll kind of jump a little bit, without Nafisa, even sometimes with Nafisa, the Lynx struggle to score. They have the system laid out for them, but like their baskets just don't be falling sometimes. And I'm like, they go into these droughts that honestly concern me because their defense presence is solid. But in offense, despite them having a fantastic system, they still struggle offensively at times. And the fact that the Washington Mystics lost a 4-time defensive player out of Brittany Sykes, and they still were able to disrupt the offense of the Lynx, I don't know if it says something more about the Mystics defense or the Lynx offense. I'm leaning more towards the Lynx offense. So that's something to watch out for this team. And a continued conversation surrounding the Lynx struggle offensively, especially without Nafisa. So, first quarter, Washington came out hot. They were pushing the pace, attacking the paint, and making Minnesota's defense look a step slow. So, what I love about Sonia, Sugg, even Jade sometimes, Kiki, all of them, like, they gonna go hard and they gonna give it they all and do, like, I like the vibe of their team. They all kind of similar to me as far as attitude and energy. And me being so close to the Washington Mystics, that's fun for me when I'm gonna go watch them play. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful of the ladies' play style. I enjoy watching them play. But like I said, the Lynx struggled to find rhythm offensively, and before you knew it, the Mystics had built an 11-point lead. Minnesota, they just looked flat. I said fat. I'm so sorry. They looked flat. And without Nafisa, you saw this hesitation early. But in quarter two, that's where everything changed. Alana Smith got rolling. And with Alana, she had 25 points. She led in scoring. She didn't lead everybody in scoring because Sonya got her beat by 1 point. But she led in scoring. She was 10 for 15 from the field, 4 for 9 from the 3. She had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, but notably her 10 for 15 from the field goal shooting. She was 4 for 9 from the 3. And Alana taking 9 threes is needed. Her making 4 of them was absolutely crucial. They only won by 4 points. So, she was just not getting, she was just lights out from the deep, and that's what gave this Minnesota Lynx their life. After that, you start seeing their defense ramp up, and the things that was probably drawn up for them started to come alive and into play. They forced Washington into a lot of turnovers, and then they capitalized on those turnovers on the other end of the court. And by halftime, they had the lead and they had the momentum. And we all know basketball is a game of runs. All right. So, third quarter was probably the best quarter of the game, aside from the fourth quarter with some last minute shots made. But the third quarter, in my opinion, was the best quarter of the game. It was just back and forth all night. And that is the playoff run energy that I'm starting to see from all these teams, whether it's the entire game, whether it's for a half or whatever. I'm starting to feel this is playoff atmosphere vibes right now. What time is it? Okay. Playoff vibes. So, they were both trading baskets. The lead changed so many times. Matter of fact, let me go real quick. I don't know how many times the lead changed, but I could tell you in just a moment how many times that damn lead changed, man. It was a lot. But Dejanay Carrington, hey Dejanay, her home debut with the Minnesota Lynx was last night. She's already played with them, but it was a away game. So this was her home debut. She drilled a huge 3 to put them up by 3 going into that fourth quarter. And what I love about this Minnesota Lynx team is they feed off of each other's energy. And that's either going to lead to their rise or contribute to their demise. Because I notice, like, when Courtney Williams gets going, they get excited. When Kayla McBride's making good plays, they get excited. You see what I'm saying? It takes, they just, as they work as a unit, and I love that. But when they're down as a unit. And when they up as a unit. But let me look at how many lead changes it was for this game. And then also I'll look at the chat while that loads. Kingdom Come, welcome to the chat. Bruce Morrow, welcome to the chat. Sports T, what's up, Dom? Man, I'm glad to see you. Yesterday was a lot of fun. I enjoyed your perspective very much, and I look forward to collaborating with you in the future, possibly. I think we both bring different takes to the game, and we can expand each other's mind more on certain things. So definitely look forward to that. And enjoyed myself last night. It was a lot of fun. Okay, hold on. Let's get this loaded real quick. Let's see how many lead changes it was. That is very important. I already said it, so now I just want to solidify it so y'all know how many it was, because it was sick. Watch I look, and it wasn't even that many. It felt like a lot. Like, I couldn't keep my eyes off the game. And that, my friend, is the pay us what you owe us type of moment. I send y'all Cashapp for that game last night. Speaking of Cashapp, I got mine in the bio. Every donation at the beginning, early stages, is going right back into this podcast, so I can eventually get a new computer, a new setup, and bring you even more higher quality content. All right, I'm almost there. Kingdom Come said, "Hey, hate that I missed you last night. No problem. I wasn't actually streaming from my channel. I was a guest for the Friday night panel on Man Down Sports. If you check the description in this episode, you can see the link to the panel episode that I was on. So if you want to go back and check that out, the link should be in the description of this stream. All right. Let me check the game chart real quick. It's almost there. I almost got it pulled up. 40 years later. Bro, this supposed to... Oh, it had 11 lead changes. 11! There was 11 lead changes. That's the type of basketball I live for. Oh my goodness, man. But yeah, 11 lead changes. Let's look at DeJournette's stats for her home debut. DeJournette she was off the bench, but despite her being off the bench, they're playing her a lot. Out of respect for their already solidified starting lineup, I think DeJournette coming off the bench is something she is willing to do, especially knowing how close she could be to being a title winner. She had 29 minutes off the bench, 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from the 3. So she shot 50% from the 3 with 12 total points, 2 steals, 2 rebounds, 1 block. Now, she does foul a lot. That is something that I noticed with her. But it only stands out because of this Minnesota team. You feel what I'm saying? They play with so much composure and professional. Like they done this before for years. So sometimes she looks like she's new, but she's bringing this energy that they need. If what I'm saying is making sense. I'm not saying she don't fit on this team, but she definitely still looks new. But I love her energy, and it's so needed. It's only further and made them better. It's actually, she came at the perfect time with Nafisa going down. Without DeJournette, would the Lynx be winning without Nafisa? You see what I'm saying? With Dejanay, if she wasn't there and they didn't have Nafisa, would we be having a different conversation right now? Something to think about, possibly. The fact that you came from another team and you're already being a difference maker is amazing. I love it. But yeah, I do want to point out with Nafisa hurt, they only went 8 deep last night. And they chose not to play 3 of their players. That kind of says a lot about this Minnesota Lynx team. But you know, you got Alana playing 36 minutes, Jessica Shepard playing 29, Kayla playing 32, Courtney playing 30, and like I said, Dejanay 29. That's a lot of minutes these starters are kicking out heading into the postseason. Like, maybe they should be mindful of that. I get they got to grind out, but 44 games, and they passed a little bit past the midpoint way of the season, almost heading into the end. Just be mindful of that, because that's like with the New York Knicks. That's where they really messed up, and it will start to show in the first round of the playoffs for sure. So, please, Minnesota, please, Cheryl, for the sake of these women, think about it for a second. But it was a really close game, but to me, it's like, it's not like they can't afford to lose, but I would never push the narrative of an athlete being like playing to lose. Like, I never want to push that narrative. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is y'all have built a comfortable, sizable lead for y'all, where even though you got really close games like this against the Washington Mystics, is it super detrimental for y'all to burn out your starters and your stars? Also, could Bridget Carlston lose her starting spot to Dejanay, or is it still smart to keep Dejanay off the bench and let Bridget Carlston stay out there? Think about it, because the Phoenix Mercury, they bring Sammy Whitcomb off the bench. Why not bring Bridget off the bench? You're not going to run into a defensive liability with Dejanay, or are you still looking for that 3-point presence? Bridget only took 1 3 last night. She hasn't been taking a lot of threes. My voice is raising because it's pissing me off. It's like, Bridget, what are you out there for? They're not like, but you know, I get it. Maybe still some size. They want to keep their size. But if Nafisa come back, I would strongly consider moving Bridget to the bench and starting Dejanay. What y'all think? Oh, Kingdom Come. I'm sorry, Jai. I didn't know that was you. I can't wait to meet you. My fault. Did not know that was you. I'm talking about, oh, go check this out last night. Like, you like, I already know. This is my show. Okay. So, let me I had one more note about this Minnesota Lynx team. So even without their MVP level forward, Nafisa, the Lynx showed that they're hanging their hats on a lot of players. Okay, I did actually just say that, so I already said that. With this win, they do hold firm at home and continue to push up on top their standings. But I just think this continues to display how resilient of a team the Minnesota Lynx are without Nafisa. And a lot of people have doubted them, hated on them, and they just beat the Storm, and now they just beat the Mystics. Let's take a look at their schedule coming up here, and then we'll move on to this topic showing on my screen. The Toronto Tempo, the team that's being added next year, is already showing on the WNBA website, by the way. So if I were you, I would go check that out. If you haven't already, just go to the WNBA.com, hover over teams, and you'll see Toronto Tempo. So tough. It's showing on there. Okay, so Minnesota Lynx upcoming month. Let's see what they got going on. Okay, so they play Sunday, they play tomorrow at the New York Liberty. So they have an out-of-conference game. But they're playing a team that is right behind them, sitting at number 2 overall. Number 2. So that should be a fun game. And with Nafisa and Stewie out, damn, I wish they weren't out, man. But we're going to see. So that's a hard schedule. Then they don't play again until the 16th. So they don't play again until a whole week later. And they play the New York Liberty again. And then they play New York Liberty again. So the New York Liberty have had to play the same teams over and over and over again. That's kind of crazy to me. And August 21st, they'll play the Atlanta Dream. And then Friday, August 22nd, they'll play Indiana Fever. Then they'll play Indiana Fever again. And then they'll play the Seattle Storm. So they got a tough schedule moving up. They don't have anybody that is quote-unquote beatable. So this is a pretty hard schedule. However, it's doable. I'm concerned for them on this Atlanta Dream. Not even going to lie. I'm concerned for them. But the New York Liberty, I'm excited to see that. And to see the first round of this 3-game series that they have coming up. It's like it's already playoffs. But yeah. All right. So that wraps it up for Minnesota Lynx and the Washington Mystics. Last but not least, certainly not least, we're going to talk about this Aces versus Storm. Las Vegas Aces is now on a 3-game win streak. They have won 5 of their last 6 games. They came out on top last night against the Seattle Storm, winning 90-86. Now, also, happy birthday to Aja Wilson. She turned 29 last night. And also happy birthday to Nalissa Smith, who also, I don't know how old Shorty turned, though. I'm sorry, Nalissa. I'm sorry to that woman. But it was a lot of fun watching this game. Okay, so what I learned about the Seattle Storm team is they're a second half team for sure. For sure. And the Las Vegas Aces historically have struggled in the second half. But it wasn't the case for them last night. They had the lead going into the halftime, and then they extended it in the third quarter by a lot. But towards the end of that third quarter, going into the fourth, that's when you see that Seattle Storm second half team come alive. What I noticed about the Seattle Storm is they struggle with anybody who pulls out that zone defense on them. We all know how they struggle to take threes, essentially. Players like Gabby Williams, Erica Wheeler, sometimes Skylar Diggins will take that three. But now, to last night was Brittany Sykes' first debut on this Seattle Storm team, and she took the most threes out of everybody, which is what she was brought on this team to do. Aside from helping them defensively, she took 7 threes and she made 2 of them. As a total team, they shot 6 for 21 from the 3 with 28% from the 3 land. Now, I remember being in college, my team was not a 3-point shooting team, so everybody played us in zone. But the problem that a team like that had, like us, and what I see the Seattle Storm struggle with is movement. That is why I think Erica Wheeler is so special on this team with her ability to move with and without the ball. Same thing with Gabby Williams. So, that is why I think Erica has managed to be so effective when teams switch to a zone. And even when teams are in a man, but she uses her length in ways that are like really cool. And even though Brittany Sykes is here and she managed to pull 14 points in 29 minutes, she shot, like I said, 2 for 7 from the 3, 5 for 14. I still don't think she should be taking anybody's starting spot Erica Wheeler has clearly demonstrated she's earned that spot, and she's been playing like she don't want to lose that spot. So, me personally, I'm not taking anybody out the starting lineup for Brittany Sykes. Continue to bring her off the bench. But, I'm not the coach, and so we will see. But let's see. Let's keep going. Who led? Right. So, I'm starting off with the Seattle Storm team because I want to finish with this Las Vegas Aces team. Have y'all been surprised by their level of play? Because I have. I was not hating on them, but I was clowning them for the longest time. And now, maybe it's because maybe it was like, how a team thinks they're too good, so they just chilling, kind of like the NBA. Sometimes you be seeing teams chill in the regular season, and you see stars, rookies, even people come off the bench, and they be like, oh, they're having a great season. But I hear people say all the time, well, wait till they get the playoffs, then we really gonna see who the real ballers are. I get that mentality, but it also frustrates me because I think you should just go hard the whole time. Why aren't we just balling? Doesn't matter if we're playing against the best team in the conference, the worst team in the conference. Show up as yourself every single day. Show up as that ball player every single day. So, but if that's what the Aces are doing, we'll see. It looks like it right now. I don't know. They're starting to pick it up. But we could talk about what adjustments Becky Hammon has made and how that possibly has benefited this Aces team. But first, let's talk about the Seattle Storm and what they brought to the table. Okay, so like I said, they had a big run in the third quarter. Then they had another burst in the fourth. For a while, it was just nothing but green and gold momentum. Unfortunately, this Seattle Storm team, despite their length, got out-rebounded by the Las Vegas Aces. Like, where they was nowhere to be found on these boards. It was just confusing. I don't know if something's not clicking or connecting, or how much longer the Seattle Storm coach has, but they have lost something in the past month where I'm genuinely concerned. Mind you, they just fell in the standings. Las Vegas Aces, they were tied. They were both tied for 5th and 6th. Now they have dropped down to 6th, and Las Vegas Aces have claimed that 5th spot. I'm sorry, 6th spot. And Seattle Storm have dropped to 7th. So they got a 16-15 record, and the Las Vegas Aces have a 17-14 record. And I am going to, while I'm here, gonna pull up the schedule for the Storm, so we can see who they got next. Should we be super concerned for them? I'm concerned for them. Watching the Seattle Storm team, I don't think they're gonna survive in playoffs. And based on how the Los Angeles Sparks have been trending, and yeah, I'm just going to say Los Angeles Sparks have been trending. I'm not saying that the Seattle Storm can get kicked out of playoffs, but the play that they have been displaying for us this last month, I don't know if they have what it takes to last in the playoffs at all, let alone possibly even make it. So, but like I said, the rebounding made a huge difference last night, and it was a comfortable margin that they got out rebounded. And I think down the stretch, obviously, this is I think the way both teams were playing, every single possession mattered. And the Aces seemed to just want it a little bit to a lot a bit more than the Seattle Storm team. And honestly, I think the defense actually won the night altogether. Like I said, that switch to the zone defense. So Seattle Storm's like go-to scorers couldn't do nothing. I think their whole bench had like 38 points off the bench. Now, Brittany Sykes is a part of that contribution to how many points that they had off the bench. But let's look at the actual numbers here so y'all can get an idea of what the heck was going on. So, Skylar Diggins went scoreless. All-star starter Skylar Diggins Wiggins went scoreless. She was 0 for 3 and then 0 for 2 from the 3. So she took 3 shots last night and 2 of them was from the 3. Now, there was this one play that the wind got knocked out of her. So that could have been it. Maybe Shorty was dizzy the rest of the game. I don't know. They was knocking her around. Jackie Young, Shorty get in the gym. Skylar, she got to get her weight up. They was playing way more physical. For the Seattle Storm team to be so big, they are not nowhere near physical. And the Las Vegas Aces, I will give it to them. They are a physical team. Just like the Atlanta Dream team. Just like the Phoenix Mercury. And Atlanta Dream's an East Coast team. So let's just talk about West Coast. I'm concerned for y'all. Y'all getting knocked around like that. Come on, man. She had 0 points. She did have 6 assists, though. So, I'm not going to knock that. But so did Brittany Sykes. Let's see. We had Erica Wheeler. And so, let me take a step back. Dominique Malonga came off the bench, and she had 22 points. She was 8 for 11 from the field goal. 6 for 7 from the free throw line. And she had 12 rebounds. So she had a double-double. Was it her first double-double? I think someone said it was her first double-double. She was the only one besides Erica Wheeler playing super physical. Well, Gabby Williams too. She's known for that. NECA? NECA's a whole other conversation for me personally. Let me look at the chat real quick. Ghost of Gerlatis said that Skylar is a cancer. A cancer to the team? You think so? Yeah, Seagazer said Malnoga can dunk. Now there was a couple times I thought she was gonna throw it down. Most of her points were in the paint, but she just had this way of in this zone defense that the Aces were playing, they lost track of her as she was moving from baseline to baseline, and she had a lot of cuts in the inside, and they were able to hit her, and she finished. Really thought she was gonna dunk on somebody, but she unfortunately did not. But hopefully in a couple years we gonna see windmills and weaves. Let's see. Storm is tired from the double OT game. They lost 4 straight. That's on them. That is on them. So we have, let me see, Seattle Storm schedule coming up here. They play the Sparks tomorrow. So the Sparks have back-to-back games. And we talk about tired. They play tonight and they play tomorrow. So they have a hard schedule. Then Seattle Storm next Friday play the Atlanta Dream. Yikes. That Dream team's going crazy. Then they go and they visit the Chicago Sky. Oh, in between that, they play the Dream Wednesday, August. Oh, sorry. The schedule is going like across instead of down. It's the weirdest thing. But so they play the Sparks tomorrow. Wednesday, August 13th, they play the Dream. They host the Dream. Then they play the Dream at the Dream. Then they play Mercury. They host the Mercury. Then they play the Sky. Then they play the Wings. So their next week or so is going to be really stressful. And it's really going to demonstrate whether or not the Seattle Storm can sustain their standings. And if they really are playoff contenders. Because they're playing against the top teams in the league. I'm concerned for them, to be honest. But I'm also looking forward to see what Brittany Sykes does. Did y'all like Brittany? Did you like how she played with them last night? What you think? Saheed, welcome to the chat, bro. Glad to see you. Oh, Cute Tay 71. This is the first time I've seen you here. Welcome to the chat. Glad that you're here in the community talking basketball. You said Spark in all caps. Sparks are playing well, aren't they? I love me some Sparks. But yeah, okay, so wrapping all this up, and if you catch my segment yesterday, I talked more about the Spark. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I talked more about the Sparks. But wrapping this up, real quick, we're gonna talk about this Las Vegas Aces team. Las Vegas Aces comeback run. Are they championship contenders? If we would have asked this question like 2 weeks ago versus asking this question now, there's a huge difference. It's like night and day with this team. And that is why I wanted to ask the question. I really want to know what y'all are thinking about the level of play that the Las Vegas Aces have been demonstrating these days. Last night, obviously, Asia, what was cool last night with Asia is that she scored 29 points for her 29th birthday. I don't know if she did it on purpose. I didn't watch any, like, interviews or anything after, but that was pretty cool. And she had a double-double. So she had 29 points, 12 rebounds. The Storm coach kept saying, push her right, push her right. But Aja could finish on both sides, so pushing her right did not matter. She had like 3-and-1s last night. They were so tough. Where was NECA? That's another thing that pisses me off about NECA. Where do NECA be? Like, anyway, the notable difference with this Aces team, I think, has been tremendous to their night and day standouts is they moved Jewel Lloyd to the bench, and now they're starting Kirsten Bell. Now, Kirsten Bell is, like, still a big guard, like a sizable guard. She has a lot of poise. She kind of still moves pretty slow, but she's going to knock down that three if you leave her open. Whereas though Jewel Lloyd still is going to shoot that three and knock it down, but was just making poor decisions offensively. Terrible. So I don't know if it was a conversation that she had or whatever the case may be. She took one for the team, or she thought this was a good idea, or she didn't. Doesn't matter. She did come off the bench again. So while Jewel will be that veteran scoring off the bench, which is cool. But ultimately, Jackie Young, aside, I think if we're looking at the Aces, right, on their go-to scorers, obviously Asia's at the top. Then I'm going Jackie Young next. For sure. The person that I think is creeping into number 3 is Nalissa Smith. And when she first got to the team, they were playing her a little bit. And then I think they were hesitant for a brief second. Now, Shorty is everywhere last night. She was everywhere. She was doing everything for them. Rebounding. Scoring. Being a energy. She was just energy everywhere, man. And remember, she got traded from the Dallas Wings. So let me just pull up some stats, talk about that real quick. Nalissa Smith, like I was saying, she played 31 points, 5 for 6 from the field, 12 rebounds, 10 points. I think this is is it like her second or third double-double in a row? This is like her second or third double-double in a row. Come on. And she moved to the starting lineup. They was bringing her off the bench for a little minute. I love seeing stuff like this, y'all. Like, I love seeing it. Kia Stokes didn't even play last night. And she was in the starting lineup a couple weeks ago. Like, Becky not playing. Becky is not playing with them. Asia, like I said, she was 11 for 24. She had 1 3 all night, and she hit that joint. She had 12 rebounds. 3 of them were offensive, and 3 assists. She did have 5 fouls though, so she was obviously excited for her birthday. But taking a step back to Nalissa had 4 offensive rebounds. So the 12 rebounds she got last night, 4 of them was offensive rebounds. It was crazy. It was crazy. When I say they out rebounded the Storm team, 38-29. And then Jackie Young, she was 8 for 15 from the field, 4 for 6 from the 3. She had 5 assists and only 1 turnover, and she finished the night with 26 points. So you had 2 Las Vegas Aces scoring in 20 points, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them scoring in double digits. What was I going to say that I noticed yesterday? Let me look at chat real quick while I think about it. Random dude said Nneka's 35 years old. She needs rest. Tigi, welcome to the chat, Tigi. Or TG. Minnesota is hurry. They will win this year. Random dude said it's the Aja and Jackie show. And Nalissa show. I'm telling you, Nalissa looking like they big 3. Now, Chelsea Gray, I don't want to like just completely forget about her, because I think she still brings like a lot of, she makes good decisions. She's she reads the room really well. And I always appreciate that about a player. She just has the ability to see, it looks like she sees the game a couple steps ahead. And I appreciate that about any player. And I think that separates a good from a great player. So I do like watching Chelsea Gray do her thing on the court. But overall, this Las Vegas Aces team, despite their 3-game win streak, and like I said earlier, they've won 5 of their last 6 games. Do we see them now? Are we now bringing them into the talks of being a championship contender team? They have moved their way up in the West and overall standings. Like I said, they sit number 6 now. They've been battling for 6, 7, and 8 for a while, but they seem to have come out on top so far. And if the Indiana Fever just took their 2 big losses, they've tied the Indiana Fever right now for 5th and 6th overall in the league. It's possible that they could work their way up to 5. Let's look at their schedule. Random dude said, I don't see the Aces beating the Lynx, Mercury, or Liberty. They have everything that they need to win, though. That's why I think it's a possibility that it could happen. Like they have height, they have size, they have grit, they have specialties in each position. They got a shooter, a passer. They got the possibly MVP contender teammate on their team. You feel what I'm saying? Asia's like, probably, if I had a list of my MVPs, which I was going to do in another segment, but if I had a list, I got Asia number 2. And when Nafisa down, I got Nafisa, Asia, Alyssa Thomas. I'm Alyssa Thomas biased, though. I got Alyssa Thomas biased. She's a triple-double machine. So, I mean, she's like the Joker of the league, okay? I don't know, yo. But that's a whole nother conversation. So, they play the Connecticut Suns tomorrow. Who, again, the Connecticut Suns just acquired Aaliyah Edwards. Let's take that into consideration. And then they play the New York Liberty on Wednesday. So we'll be able to see if they're going to beat them. And then they play Mercury. They play the Dallas Wings, Atlanta Dream, and then they play Mercury again. So maybe I was a little premature with this question, but I guess it's a little fun to see, like, which one of us is going to be right. Huh? Y'all say they can't beat the Liberty or the Mercury. Maybe not even the Dream? We gon' see. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to wrap up today with today's tip-off, the 3 games on tonight, and then I have a special announcement. Oops. Okay, so tonight the 3 games are hold on. Just taking a look at the chat. Love all the takes today. Random Dude says Sparks have a tougher schedule, but the Valks are missing their best player. The Valkyries been looking. We're about to talk about it. It sucks for me because I like both of these teams. I started off really liking Valkyrie, and I still do, but I kind of have both of these teams have a special place in my heart. So it's gonna be tough watching tonight. It feels like a win is a win-win situation, but low key is like a lose-lose. Like for real. Okay, so what are you doing? Here we go. Tonight, the Indiana Fever. Oh, it's only 2 games on tonight. My fault. But they're 2 huge games. So tonight, the Indiana Fever host the Chicago Sky. And the Golden State Valkyrie host the Los Angeles Sparks. Now, FanDuel, I'm going to tell y'all the betting odds. FanDuel has Indiana Fever negative 10.5. The spread is crazy. Negative 10.5. And then they got for the Los Angeles Sparks and the Golden State Valkyrie, they have the Sparks -4. Let us take a look at the possible projected starting lineup. And like I said, let's start with Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky. And I'm also going to make sure I pull up the injury report on ESPN to see what's up with Angel Reese. And if anybody knows, feel free to say it in the chat too. You know what I mean? And that will wrap us up. It's been a fun day. Rachel Banham. Y'all got Rachel Banham going nuts and scoring 30 points. I actually can see that happening. Like, I'm not even kidding. She's been on fire, and I can literally see her scoring 30 on Sophie Cunningham. I really can. Okay, so need to know. Chicago ranks 8th in 3-point field goal percentages. So they're the top 8 in the league out of 13 teams in 3-goal percentages, while Indiana is the second top 2 to allow the fewest 3-point field goals per game. So let's look at these teams in the 3 times they played each other this season. They first played each other back in May 2025, and the Indiana Fever beat them 93-58. Then they saw each other again in June 2025, and the Indiana Fever beat them again 79-52. So these are already 2 blowouts. And to top it all off, the last time these 2 teams seen each other was the end of July, after Caitlin got hurt, before Ari and Sydney got hurt, and they beat them 93-78. So right now, the last 3 times these teams played each other this season, Indiana Fever is 3-0. Let us take a look and see if they have the projected starting lineup. Oh, by the way, this game comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern time on CBS. So it is going to be at a bar near you. It's like, no, if you don't drink, I'm sorry. You can just watch it on TV at home or your friend's house. Drinking is bad. Stay in school. Okay, so starting projected starters. Who should we start with? Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever. What do y'all think? Who projected starters? Who y'all want to start with? I'm gonna see whoever puts the first one. That's what I'm gonna start with. Sparks or Fever? Projected starting lineup. Come on, y'all. Don't get quiet on me in the chat now. Put my lip gloss on while y'all type. Anybody? Okay. Who's playing point guard for Fever? Okay, bet. We'll do the projected starters for the Fever right now. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so they got Kelsey Mitchell at the guard. They got Lexi Hall, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Aaliyah Boston. Someone asked who's going to play point guard. Obviously, what I think they're going to do, now that they're bringing Lexi Hall off the bench, we knew that was going to happen. They are going to probably utilize Sophie and Kelsey, and they might try to do like a two-man type of play, but for the most part, I think Kelsey's gonna bring the ball up. But again, this is all dependent on what Stephanie White decides to do offensively for this Fever team. Is she gonna sustain the same offense that really only seemed to work with Caitlin Clark? It seemed like it was made for Caitlin and position, because with Kelsey Mitchell in that point, I am concerned. I said this at the beginning of this stream when we were talking about their injury crisis, but we shall see. Expect a lot of on-ball screens for Kelsey Mitchell. Expect a ton of those. You might even see Lexi come set one for her, or Sophie too. It won't just be limited to Aaliyah or Natasha. But that is what I anticipate happening for this team. Now, for the Chicago Sky, they projected starters. They have Rachel Banham, Ariel Atkins, Michaela, Elizabeth Williams, and Camila. So again, we see Angel Reese is still out. They have an estimated return date on the WNBA website for August 12th. I'm going to pull up real quick ESPN to see what ESPN says. It might have a comment or something not listed, but we're going to pull that up real quickly. And then I'm also checking the chat. They shouldn't. Sea Gazer said they shouldn't, but they cannot play Boston as point guard. If they do, so no center play at all. Unless you were just saying something to somebody else. I didn't really understand that comment. TG said, ain't Clark and Angel still injured? Yes, they are. So right now, Angel Reese, its last comment was made August 7th. Chicago coach Tyler Marr said Reese's back is considered day-to-day, but she has an out status listed. So the coach is saying she's considered day-to-day, while both websites says Shorty is out and she might not return until next week. So, and next August 13th is next Wednesday, when I think they play the Las Vegas Aces. So, let's go back. Ariel Atkins is a game time decision, but she's still projected to start. She's questionable for the game though, which I guess for the Sky, they saw that they probably saw the Indiana Fever so down bad. They're like, matter of fact, Ariel, why don't you sit down? Angel, you could sit down too. Go ahead, take a break. Even Haley Van Lith is listed as questionable for today's game with an ankle. Questionable versus probable are two different things. Michaela O'Neary is listed as probable with her knee injury. And then we all know Courtney Vandersloot is out for the season. So, Haley, Ariel, and Angel are all at risk and definitely are probably not most likely going to play tonight. That is a true testament to this injury crisis going on here in Indiana. So, if they don't start, I mean, it's going to be a bad game. I'm not going to lie to y'all. This is going to be hard to watch. And it might be in a great game. What y'all think? You know, I think I feel like Indiana Fever is still going to win tonight. It might be a messy win, though. It might be a nasty win. But they're going to win nonetheless. Oh, right. Kia Nurse. You're right, random dude. The Chicago Sky does have Kia Nurse. So if Haley can't go, who usually comes off the bench anyway, if Ariel can't go, then they probably will start Kia Nurse. But yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much my projection for this game. I got the Fever still winning. But, Chicago Sky just came off their win. And Indiana Fever just came off their terrible loss. So, anything can happen. But I definitely got this Fever team winning. Let's move on to the real game. And then we'll wrap up this stream. The real game, and what I have on the screen here, is the Sparks versus the Valkyrie, Golden State Valkyrie. Now, the Sparks have a tough schedule. We've been saying that. They play the hardest teams in the league coming up here. And right now, they're battling it out with the Golden State Valkyrie for that 8th playoff position. So right now, they're tied 9th for 8th with the Golden State Valkyrie sitting at 8 and the Los Angeles Sparks sitting at 9. They both had the same record. So whoever wins this matchup tonight will go on to enter the playoffs in that last seed. You only can have 8. It can only be 8. Who's going to come out on top? And if they do come out on top, who then has the better edge to actually make a deep playoff run? I got Los Angeles Sparks, yo. If we're talking about from the beginning of the season, I think Golden State Valkyrie had a beginning to middle of the season, while this Los Angeles Sparks team has come alive with the return of Cameron Brink and the veteran presence of De'Erica Amby, Kelsey Plum, and then you got Azare Stevens sitting at 6'6", and then you got Rakia Jackson having breakout play. Like, Shorty can put the ball in the hoop. She's a really tall guard. Well, she's like a forward. She's a forward, but she's like a stretch guard for them. This team has been moving the ball effortlessly. Then you got Julianne Almond, who just came off of a triple-double. And then you got Ray Burrell off the bench as well. Like, this team got depth, size, height, a scoring ability. Their defense is questionable. But the Pacers had questionable defense, and then they came into the playoffs and shocked the world. So I'm hoping this LA Sparks team is going to do the same thing and continue to improve on their defense, because if they did, they would be unstoppable. They would be the ones sitting at the top of this standings. And if they keep the same team going in the next year, bro, the Sparks are going to be nasty. They're going to be nasty. Unfortunately, Golden State Valkyrie is dealing with an enormous loss with Kayla Thornton went down. And then they just got Tiffany Hayes back, but she is a fragile girl. And then they also lost Monique Billings, who was originally coming off the bench behind Temi Fugable. Then Temi left for the CBA, and Monique starting to have like a breakout year for herself. And so to see her go down with a ankle injury was so sad. So they had their top 3 options pretty much go down, which leaves Veronica Burton and Tiffany Hayes and Temi, I think Kate Martin, and some others just pretty much doing it all by themselves, and it's not getting done. They on offense, once they run through their play, they don't know what to do afterwards. I noticed this about, like, right now, the LA Sparks are moving the ball around effortlessly, while the Golden State Valkyries kind of pass the ball around a couple times, and then someone just jacks up a 3. Like, that's their offense at this point. And I think their coach came from the Atlanta Dream team, or the Las Vegas Aces, I think, and she was an assistant coach, and then she got promoted to this head coach. And again, this is the Golden State Valkyries' inaugural season. So to be sitting at number 8 in the playoffs after it being your first season ever is pretty impressive. But the last time these teams played each other was months ago, so it's been a while since they've seen each other. Los Angeles Sparks on 5/16, so back in May, beat the Golden State Valkyries 84-67. Then 10 days later, not even 10 days later, Golden State Valkyries turned around and beat the Los Angeles Sparks 82-73. And then they took the game again in early June, beating them by 8 points with a victory of 89-81. So, needs to know, Los Angeles Sparks lead the league in points per game, in the paint per game. And Golden State Valkyrie allows the fewest opponents points in the paint per game. So, I already anticipate that as scrappy of a defense that the Golden State Valkyries has versus a fantastic, well-oiled machine of a team the Los Angeles Sparks have, it's going to be very interesting to see these teams go head-to-head. However, I'm still leaning way more towards this Los Angeles Sparks team winning than I do the Golden State Valkyrie. They do not yet have the projected starters up, but just based on everything going on and injuries, blah, 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 I could tell you right now who I project starting. The Sparks, they're going to start Azari Stevens, De'Erica Amby, Julie Almond, Kelsey Plum, and Rakia Jackson. And they're going to bring Cameron Brink and Ray Burrell off the bench. Why change it up when it's been working? They're not going to change it up. Like, it's too fire right now for them to change it up. For the Golden State Valkyrie, that's where I'm like, I don't know, y'all. They going through it right now. How about we look at their last game against the Aces, because that was their most recent game. And look at their starting lineup from that game. So they've had a little bit of time to rest because they played the Aces on Wednesday and they lost. So let me look real quick. But they didn't lose by that much, by the way. It was a low-scoring game for both sides of the court. But the Sparks have scored over 100 points or close to it in these past few games. So, again, I don't know. It's going to be a good game, but I think the Sparks are going to come out on top. Okay, I think they're going to start Janelle Saloon, Temi Fangabli, Cecilia, Tiffany Hayes, and Veronica Burton. Did I say? Wait, no. They're going to start Tiffany Hayes, Veronica Burton, Temi Fangabli, Janelle Saloon, yeah, and Cecilia Zandalicini. And then they're going to bring Kayla Charles, Carla Leddy. I don't even think Kate Martin might even see the court for a while. I'm just being honest. Because she's a liability on defense, and Rakia Jackson would have her way with her. Julie would have her way with her. everybody on the Sparks team would have their way with Kate, unfortunately. So I don't know if you're all those Kate Martin lovers. I don't see it. Someone in the chat said, yup is the first time I've ever seen you here. Welcome. You said trade Cardoso to the Valkyries for Kate Martin. I think that's the craziest take. Now, I mean, value for value, I don't think that would ever happen. But I understand what you're trying to say. Meaning, you think the Golden State Valkyrie need more front court. I couldn't agree more with you. And then from a Chicago Sky perspective, they need a shooter. But hell, in no way in the world that trade would ever happen. Just no way in the world. But I see what you're saying. Random Dude said Rakia scored 20 plus points in 3 games straight. It's scary. I'm concerned for this Golden State Valkyrie team. Yeah, it's gonna get nasty out here. It's gonna get filthy. But yeah, that is pretty much so who has the better odds for the playoffs? It seemed like this was like an easy, simple question, but because this Sparks team has a tough schedule coming up, I'm just a little concerned for them, and I might have the answer to this question after I watch them play. So they play against Golden State Valkyrie tonight. This is a huge game for them because this is the first time since they were like number 11, 10, and they just slowly been climbing their way up in the standings. So I do feel like the Sparks are going to come out so hungry for this win so that they can be, I'm number 8. And then they're only, if they win this, I think they'll be 1 game or 1 game. Because right now they're both 14. They're both 14 and 15. And the Seattle Storm 16 and 15. So if the Sparks win this tonight, they'll go 15 and 15. And the Golden State Valkyries will fall 13 to 16 and put them 9. And Sparks will be 8. And then the Storm and the Sparks play each other. It's crazy how the schedule is kind of falling out because I think the Storm and the Sparks play each other next. It's ready to get crazy. If you're not tuned into the WNBA, you need to tune into the WNBA. Go ahead and purchase that League Pass. I think they got it on discount right now. But if you want, it's like $35 for the whole entire year. The year's almost over, so you're better off just investing into their $12.99 plan per month, where you will get access to the league games. Now, some stuff plays on Monumental and some stuff plays on Ion. So if you got cable or Xfinity, you can lock in on there. But the game is made available immediately after it finishes airing, so you can check that out. Or you can catch some of these key games on CBS, ESPN, and even on NBA TV. So make sure you lock in. This is the perfect time now more than ever to pay attention to the WNBA. Lock in. All right. Especially because we only got like a month and a half left of coverage. And then we on the fantasy basketball and NBA. I'm sorry. I'm really excited for that. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But y'all gonna see a different beast in me come fantasy. I'm a 2-time fantasy champion. I'm a back-to-back fantasy champion. Only female in the leagues that I played in. Finishing first in the regular season. And I've been a commissioner of the league. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. So I cannot wait to talk fantasy basketball. But until then, just remember. Oh, wait. Before that, I do want to have a special announcement. Okay. As y'all know, like I said yesterday, I was a guest star on the Man Down Sports panel. It was like their Friday panel. But the Man Down Sports it's like a team. It's like a low key like a organization. And it's led by Mel. And, just after conversations with Mel and joining the guest panel, they invited me to be a part of their team. So, and I accepted the invitation. So now I am officially a member of the Man Down Sports podcast. I will be pretty much guest starring, probably not every single Friday, but for a majority of the Fridays on their Friday panel to talk sports. And they talk a lot basketball. It's like 80% basketball, 20% football. So I probably won't be there for the football talks, okay? But I will definitely be there for the basketball talks. And if you check the description in this if you check the description in this podcast episode, I have linked the panel where I was on yesterday. And then I also am going to add Man Down Sports on my description and add them to my bio. So you'll be able to check them out. So go, if you haven't already, go and subscribe. If you're coming from Man Down Sports and you're on my channel because you are a part of the Man Down Sports community, hi, welcome. Glad that you're here. And I'm excited to be a part of y'all community and learn, like, get to know everybody, the fans, the day ones, the vibe, the culture. I just hope that I come and I add a presence that is like, I bring knowledge or a perspective that was needed and y'all didn't even know you need it. You know what I'm saying? So get used to my face, get used to my vibe. I am not going anywhere anytime soon. So let me go back to this real quick. Again, make sure you subscribe. If you Cashapp me, just know you are supporting this podcast. I am still on an 8 gigabyte RAM computer. I have been shopping for a great computer to invest in so I can improve the quality and the experience of this pod. So everything that you donate will go right back into the podcast because I am so fresh, so new. And I'm putting in all my extra money into it. And I'm hoping to just keep this going and bring you better quality, better content, and just more experience with this space. Yesterday, you could probably tell, like, it was my first panel. I tried. And I'm going to keep trying. It's only up from here. And, yeah, I'm an athlete at heart. Y'all know I'm competitive. I'm not getting no participation trophy. I'm here to win. I don't even know what I'm winning, but I have a winner mentality. So I want to be great at this. And everyone who's been with me since day one and is still here, I really appreciate you. This is like J. Cole when he did Note to Self in his 2014 Forest Hill Drive, when he did that little outro speech. And he was just like, I'm like 5 minutes in, but if you my real one day ones, I love you. I love you. I appreciate y'all so much. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure. And I hope y'all enjoy this lovely Saturday. Enjoy it. Well, make sure you tune into the games tonight, all right? And as always, if you know bull, you know ball. And I'll talk to y'all again soon.